Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Cruise Chat Live. I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. And I know on the YouTube side and everywhere else, I had 10:30 p.m. I don't know. I was tired when I set that thing up. I'm sorry. But welcome to Cruise Chat Live. I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. We are live with you on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And every week we come to you for about, an hour or so to do our best to answer your questions and to talk about cruise news, cruise views, and all those wonderful things. I see we got a bunch of people already over on YouTube. Thanks, guys, for understanding that it was a typo. Yay. Hey, Dennis and John, Eric, Sue, Jen's here, Net's here, Joe's here, Michael, Benny, gosh, Corey, Bill's fan, Alex, Fred. Good morning, everybody. Fred, I hope you're feeling better. Thanks so much for tuning in. Folks, we invite you to like, share, subscribe, do all the wonderful things that all of those social channels like you to do. We welcome you every Sunday morning. Hey, Cheryl, how are you? Good to see everybody popping in on TikTok this morning. We try to do our best to answer all of your questions for about the next hour or so. And if we can help you in any way with your travels. Now, we talk about cruising on here, but we book cruises, land tours, expeditions, theme parks, you name it. We pretty much book it anywhere in the world. So if we can help you in any way, our services are truly 100% free to you. So just reach out, where'swaltertravel.com. And wherever you're watching us, there should be links in the description or in my bio. So just reach out, and we've got a whole bunch of group cruises going on. So we will be talking about that as well. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Good morning, everybody. It sounds like the Mickey Mouse roll call. Yeah, it kind of does, Joe. Cubby. Annette. Oh, yeah, that's right. Could we have an Annette? Yay. Hey, Rick. How's everybody doing? Norma's here. Hi, everybody. Cindy's here. Hey, Nay, how are you? Good to see you. So we have, one big thing that I did want to talk about right off the bat while we wait for everybody to come in. Hi, Kim. How are you? And feel free to drop your questions in. I will get to them as quickly as I can, and we do our best to answer them. We don't have the answers for everything, but we try our best. But the one thing that that I don't know that we've had an Annette on the show before. I love that. I just love that so much. All we need now is Cubby, and I can't remember the rest of them. I can always remember Cubby and Annette, but after that, I'm lost.
It was a little bit before our time.
Yeah, but I watched it.
Old.
I watched it all the
Really?
time.
I never did.
Man, all the time as a kid. I can't remember what channel it was on, but I watched it all the time as a kid. That Mighty Mouse was on, and oh my gosh. So good morning, Silver Librarian. How are you? Good to see everybody. Hey, Chuck. I hope you're feeling good today, Chuck. Thanks so much for tuning in. But while you guys are all joining in and coming up with your questions and whatnot, I'm going to throw it to Hawaii right now because Princess has really, I don't know what's going on right now, but Princess suddenly has a great sale going on this cruise, whereby the rates are some of the lowest that they've been, and it's up to $550 of onboard credit. Now, Princess is giving $500 of onboard credit, and then through the group, we've got another $50 of onboard credit. So it's $550 of onboard credit. Now, this is for new bookings only. So for those of you who are already booked on the cruise, I sent you an email explaining the situation. We would basically have to cancel you and rebook you. Some of you have opted to do that. Some of you have opted just to keep the room exactly the same. But the rates are incredibly low. This is February 4th through the 20th, 2026 on the Emerald Princess. It's going to be 16 days at sea. We're going to Hawaii from Los Angeles. And hopefully, we are. Rebecca and I are going to spend some time in Disneyland prior to that, maybe 3 or 4 days. John's asking if I ever sailed on the Song of America. I did not. Those used to be a lot of fun ships, right? We had the Song of Norway. We had the Song of America. I think there was 1 or 2 more. Those were fun names of the ship before we got the Of the Seas coming out now. But going back to Hawaii, if you guys want to join us in Hawaii, we've got a nice group. There are 10 sea days. So if you've ever wanted to do a transatlantic without actually going transatlantic, this is basically it. 10 days at sea, round trip Los Angeles. Where are we going? We are going to Honolulu, Kauai, Kahului, Hilo, and then Ensenada. There will be 10 sea days. We're going to come up with some fun stuff to do on the ship. Now, the ship is going to be full of activity during those 10 days, but we're going to come up with something to do as well. We've got a nice little group forming on this particular cruise.
And maybe we'll poll the group.
Huh?
Maybe we'll poll.
Maybe we'll poll the
throw
group.
a few ideas out there and see what's the most popular.
And for those of you watching on YouTube and Facebook, I am scrolling through the website right now. Now, if you want any information about any of our group cruises, all you got to do is go to where'swaltertravel.com. You click on group travel, and all of our groups are right in there. I think we currently have 6 that are booking right now. We're kind of holding off on creating any more groups because we've got plenty of groups, including 2 that are with our good friends Tony and Jenny B. And what's amazing about Princess is with these great rates, the Princess Plus is included. Now, a lot of people come to us and say, man, wow, Princess Plus, that's just a drinks package. I don't need a drinks package. It's actually a lot more than that because the gratuities are in there, which is awesome. High-speed Wi-Fi is in there, 1 device per person. So if you're going to pay gratuities, and if you're going to get Wi-Fi, then the drinks are included with the the plus beverage package. So it's all drinks up to $15, including coffee, which is awesome, and I believe including bottled water, which is awesome. Plus, you get the unlimited juice bar, and you get the premium desserts. You get 2 desserts every single day. Now, that could be gelato, could be cake, could be a bunch of things. You get 2 fitness classes to try to work off some of those desserts. You get 2 casual meals per guest. What that means is they have restaurants on Princess that are about $15 per person. Typically, something like an Alfredo Pizzeria, Salty Dog Gastropub, O'Malley's Pub, things like that. So you get 2 of those meals.
And on this ship, it is the Salty Dog Gastropub.
Salty Dog Gastropub. You get Ocean Now delivery fees waived. So because we're all wearing medallions, you can order drinks and food from the app, and Princess will deliver it to you wherever you are. Cheryl's asking, is the new pricing on the Hawaii on our website? No, that pricing is still the original. Some of the prices have dropped between $300 and $800. I mean, we're talking significant drops. The issue is for the people who have already booked with us, if they are in a specific stateroom and they really, really like that room, we actually have to cancel them and we have to rebook them. And in that just 10 minutes of time that it might take to do that, somebody could be already looking at the room that you've got and they could take that room. We can still get you another room in the same category, but you may not necessarily get that exact same
Although
room.
you have run into a situation with accessible rooms where there isn't another
There are
option.
no accessible rooms left. So anyway, so I'm kind of showing this on our show. I'm going to go ahead and back out of that now. Yeah, so if you guys want to join us on that, the prices are not necessarily completely accurate on our website right now, and I do point that out all the time that prices can change without notice.
This time they changed for the better.
Yeah, this time the pricing changed for the much better. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. Yeah. So if you want to come join us to Hawaii, it's going to be amazing. I mean, it's going to be absolutely amazing. We've always wanted to do Hawaii. We love Princess. The 2 really good choices for Hawaii, if you don't want to fly to Hawaii and do the round trip, is really going to be Holland American Princess. They do it really, really well. And then some of the luxury lines do it as well, where they'll come from the U.S. and go out. Holland America does it from San Diego, whereas Princess does it from L.A. I think this Carnival does it
from L.A. too.
Carnival does it from Long Beach as well,
okay,
too.
But
So Annette wants to know when the prices will be updated on the website. I don't know, to be honest with you. We're just so busy. But if you want the updated prices, just reach out. The prices are only good as long as they're good from Princess. I know that they're good this weekend. After this weekend, they could change again, but I know that right now, if I book you this weekend, I can get you the best prices and I can get you up to $550 of onboard credit. And by the way, that $550 onboard credit is showing up for inside staterooms too. It's not just balconies and above. So what were you going to say?
yeah, and that last time they did one of these big onboard credit offers, it was only good for a weekend.
It's only good for
So
the
even
weekend.
if the prices stay, the onboard credit may go away.
Yeah, it may go away. So, yeah. So basically, if you want that onboard credit, I mean, today's Sunday. Today, it may go away tomorrow. We don't know. The Princess marketing materials always have a caveat in them. Even if they say, oh, this is going to run through April 1st, they can cut it off early or they can make changes to it. And we find that these big onboard credit offers usually only run Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They don't run all the way through the week. So yeah, so if anybody is booked on the cruise, check your email, because I did send emails to all y'all explaining the situation.
And even if you book today and don't put down your deposit, you just get the hold put on it. you can get this offer.
Correct. If I put a hold on your room today, you've got 3 days to pay the deposit, and the deposit's only $200. It's only a $200 deposit.
And it's refundable.
And it's fully refundable. In fact, Princess is still fully refundable up until final payment. That's just remarkable. I mean, basically, you want to cancel at least 48 hours before that final payment just to make sure it doesn't run the cycle. But we can literally cancel your cruise up until final payment. You could have paid the whole thing off, and you're going to get all your money back, which is very rare. Norwegian does that. Holland America does that. Princess does that. I'm not sure who else does that. So yeah. So if you want to come to Hawaii with us, this is one that we're really pushing, and we're also pushing our European one, which we'll talk about in a little while. But yes, if you want to know the pricing on the Hawaii cruise, just reach out, drop me an email, Walter at Where's Walter Travel, or go to the contact page, set up a call for today. And we do have time on the schedule. Or if you try to book a time on the schedule today and you can't get one, just shoot me an email and say, well, I want to talk to you today before the onboard credit goes away, and I will call you. So let's see. Alex is saying, so after Captain Kate McHugh's announcement, all I see is Four Seasons ads. I wonder why. A little bit outside your budget. So here's the interesting thing, and I'm going to be doing some videos about Four Seasons. They're running that like a hotel, like literally like their hotel. So, you know, when you go to a hotel, food is generally not included, right? Unless you're going to an all-inclusive resort. Food is not included at a Four Seasons resort hotel. Well, guess what? Food's not included on the cruise either. I think there's like a breakfast that's included, but that's it. Lunch, dinner. And in their FAQs, they say you should allocate about $250 every single day for food. And I was like, wow. You know, for a luxury cruise line, typically,
that's crazy.
Yeah, at that point, typically you're going all inclusive or nearly all inclusive, you know, like Explorer Journeys, Azamara, Oceana. Like there's a lot of stuff that's included. I couldn't even tell if the Wi-Fi was included. Actually, I need to go back and look at that. So it's a very interesting play by Four Seasons. I mean, congratulations to Captain Kate. Now, not only is Captain Kate going on these yachts now, but she is the lead captain. Now, when you are the lead captain on a new cruise line, you have a lot of say in how this whole thing is going to be built. You know, how the teams are going to be built, how they're going to be managed, how they're going to be run, all of that good stuff. You have an outsized influence on the rest of the fleet. That is spectacular and well earned by her. Plus, she's going to get to go to ports and go to places she's never been, at least with ships, because the ships were too big to go to some of these places. I'm just curious, you know, I'm sure the Four Seasons is hoping that she's going to bring a big celebrity crowd with her, or at least get people from celebrity and mainstream to look at them. But right now, looking at them and then looking at Explorer, looking at Azamara, looking at Oceana, looking at, you know, their competition, even the ultra like Paul Gauguin, Ponant, right now, the value doesn't stack up against those guys. Even Regent Seven Seas, you know, Regent Seven Seas, you're going to pay a lot of money to go on Regent Seven Seas. But once you get on the ship, you really don't have to spend any more money if you don't want to. So it's going to be interesting to see how Four Seasons does, and if they tweak the model. Yeah, user 274 says Four Seasons isn't looking for mainstream guests. Well, they're certainly looking for other ultra luxury guests. That's even going to be a hard sell.
Yeah, because they're used to having pretty much everything included, and this is going to be tough because that is a clientele that wants to pay for it and then
get on the ship.
Then get on the ship and not be nickeled and dimed for every little thing.
Exactly.
Once they're on the ship. So
this is like high-end nickel and diming. It's what it kind of is. You know, we're not registered to sell with Four Seasons right now. I don't know, like, I'm not registered with the Ritz-Carlton either, because I personally don't see the value in a Ritz-Carlton. Myself, I know there's a lot of people out there that like Ritz-Carlton. I would rather put you on, you know, the Explorers, the Regent, the Vikings, Ponant, Gauguin, Crystal. I think there's a lot of value out there to be had, even when you have the name brand. That's just me.
And yes, I know the Four Seasons clientele has the money. It's just that those they tend to just want to, you know, not have to just pay once.
Yeah.
I'm really skeptical. Even with the crowd they're trying to get, I'm really skeptical.
It'll be interesting. I mean, bravo to them for bringing in Captain Kate, because you could not have brought in a better spokesperson to get attention for your cruise line. And she's certainly having a fabulous time in Chicago. If you've been watching her these past few days in Chicago at the Four Seasons, she's been having a blast up there. And it's good to see that she's still the same Captain Kate. And I think we can expect a lot more of that. It's just, wow, will that become a value? So I don't know. I just don't know. Corey says Wi-Fi is included. So yay for that. Honestly, Wi-Fi should be included on every cruise line at this point. Everybody's got Starlink. Raise your rate by $5 a day and have it over with. And there you go.
But I don't understand that about the food. I mean, there should be an included option for every meal.
Bill's fan is waiting for the Holiday Inn to start a cruise line. Not to be rude. I mean,
Motel 6.
Yeah, Motel 6. I mean, honestly, you know, Carnival, MSC, those guys are incredibly affordable to go on there. So I think that is the beautiful thing about cruising, though. I mean, we're kind of picking on Four Seasons, and I apologize if anybody is watching that loves Four Seasons. But
I mean, maybe it'll be great. Maybe we're wrong.
It could be absolutely and amazingly fabulous. But you know, the beautiful thing about cruising is that there truly is a cruise line for everybody. You know, if you want to go on a cruise ship for $600 for a week, we can find that for you. You want to go on a cruise ship that's $50,000 for a week, we can find that for you. And it's just kind of cool that depending on what you want and what your expectations are of a vacation, there's a cruise ship out there, and there should be an itinerary out there for you as well. Michael wants us to start our own cruise line. That will never ever happen. Oh my gosh, I would never. Rebecca won't even let me open a 10-table restaurant. You think she's going to let me open a ship? Nope. That's not going to happen. I've always wanted to open an Italian trattoria.
Well, but even small ships are like closing in on $1 billion to do.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding?
No.
Yeah.
We do not have $1 billion. Trust me.
We don't have $1 billion, and we won't even.
In our lifetime, we won't have $1 billion.
Yeah, I think so. Alex brings up a good point. He said he's waiting until Norwegian stops their stupid game, and that's me saying stupid game. Wi-Fi minutes. They're still doing Wi-Fi minutes. Can you believe that? You get free Wi-Fi.
Disney gave that up.
Everybody gave that up, except I believe Norwegian is the last one hanging on to it so tightly. But their More at Sea package includes 150 minutes of Wi-Fi. Now, folks, you know, I've talked about Princess Plus. So Princess Plus, I mean, if Princess can do it, and they're killing it right now, you know, Princess is not hurting for money. They're not hurting for passengers. So you get Wi-Fi, gratuities, a drink package, all drinks up to $15, including coffee. You get the unlimited juice bar. You get two $15 meals per person. You get Ocean Now delivery fees waived. You get room service delivery fees waived. And there's one more thing that I'm forgetting in there. All of that is $60 a day per person. Okay. If you were to get Wi-Fi, gratuities, and the soda package, you're at $56 a day per person. If you do the non-alcoholic package, you're at $77 per day per person. If you do the alcohol package, just those three items, you're like over $85 per day per person. They wrap all that up into $60 a day. They are literally giving away the drinks package at that point. And they make it work. And everybody else, you know, Norwegian's like, we're going to give you 150 minutes of Wi-Fi. That should be good for the whole cruise. You want more? You got to upgrade.
And as far as I can tell, they aren't really giving much of a discount at all for upgrading to the whole voyage.
They used to.
Yeah.
Great question from Brandy. How soon can you start shopping for airfare before a trip? Usually 9 to 10 months.
Yeah. And I will say that this may be, I mean, that time frame is about the earliest, but you may want to be more quick on it for overseas flights versus domestic flights.
Yeah. So,
domestic flights, you can watch it for a while.
Yeah, the overseas flight, they tend to fill up. If you've been really paying attention to the airlines of late, they've been consolidating. They've been canceling and consolidating. So instead of having, say, 3 flights to London a day, they might have 2. So they're trying to consolidate and fill the planes versus having more options. So certainly, if you're going overseas, but generally about 9 to 10 months out is when the flights come up. Now, sometimes the cruise lines will have the flights sooner. And like, with Norwegian, they have their flight program where you can go ahead and set the flight up and then they'll book it later. Not all cruise lines are created equal. We have no problem booking you with Holland America and Princess with the Easy Air programs or whatever they call it on Holland. And then Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, we have no problem booking you guys with their programs because they are quite good. And you can see the actual flights, compare the flights to what you can find online. But some of the other cruise lines, well, and then the luxury lines. I mean, Regent includes their business class with everything. It's just phenomenal. And some of the other cruise lines, like Explorer, actually has had really good rates. When we compare them, like they had rates I couldn't even find independently. So yeah, so it just depends on the cruise line. Cheryl wants to know if we can get better flight rates than you can as individuals. Actually, the other way around. Airlines basically stopped working with travel agents about 20 years ago. There's a couple of travel agencies that are still very tight with airlines and they can get things. But we work with third-party booking engines, and the one that we use the most is actually the travel agent version of Expedia. We have a different version of Expedia than you guys do. But a lot of airlines have started pulling the flights back. Like American Airlines, I think, said they pulled something like 75% or 50% of their flights off of third party. So you got to go directly to their website. So what we do is, and you're being transparent and upfront, we make zero commission on those flights. We book the flight as a courtesy for our guests, just so we can wrap it all up in there for you. But whenever we present a flight, especially if we present it from Expedia, we strongly encourage you to go to the airline website because they may have additional flights that we couldn't see, and two, they may actually offer a better rate. So no, we can't get better flight rates than you can. The only time that we get better flight rates is if it's wrapped up into a land package or sometimes wrapped up into a cruise. Like we have a land partner that we book all inclusives with, and they get what's called, what are they, like bulk rates, or they get bulk rates, they get some other rates that are cheaper than if you went directly to the airline. But that's generally the only time that we're going to do that. When we book you with these all-inclusive packages, sometimes the airline rates can be lower, but for the most part, you may get better rates, or you may get literally like the exact same rate.
And to be absolutely honest, for the most part, for our own personal travel, we don't book it through our travel agency. We just book it as individuals.
Yeah.
Even for our own travel.
Yeah, I mean it's a good question, but that's just how that works out. Stefan is saying that. NCL is weird at flights too. So, we really don't recommend booking flights through Norwegian. They do offer a deal of 50% off. Well, actually buy one, get one free, or 50% off for a solo traveler, but you have zero control over those flights. And from what we have been told from guests who have used the system, and even from other travel agents, is that if there's a problem with a flight, they're going to turn you over to the airline. They're not going to assist. So we don't have personal experience with that, and because we just won't do it. So DI says, so why would I ever use you? There's no benefit as you can get the same cruise rate as you. That's not always true. We have access to group rates that you don't, and the cruise line doesn't have access to them either. Number two, we can add extra onboard credit at times. Sometimes we have perks, such as we have these things called distinctive voyages. So I have clients who are going to Italy shortly. They're going to get a free excursion, a really nice free excursion, actually. Number 3 or 4, I don't even know where I'm at. We take care of all the communications with the cruise lines, so you don't have to. Like in this instance I was talking about a little earlier with the Hawaii rates dropping with Princess, that's a process where we have to cancel the cruise, we have to get it rebooked, and then we get your rooms relined up. That would be a call by you. That could be like up to an hour or more if you're trying to call the public line, where I have a different line. The other thing that I have is I have direct access to a support team that you don't. Like I've got Kathy over at Royal Caribbean, Brett at Princess, I got Bentley at Carnival, Lynn over at Crystal. So I have people that if we need something done or we need something, we want to get something extra, like, oh my God, we had the most amazing anniversary cruise planned until one of them actually got sick, or excuse me, needed surgery. But we threw so many perks into this one because it was their anniversary and we wanted them to have an amazing cruise. So yeah, and as Nicholas said, it doesn't cost anything to use our services. We're 100% free. The commissions are built in. So like if you book with Royal Caribbean and you pay the same rate as you would with me, Royal Caribbean just keeps the commission versus paying us. And the reason, and you might say, well, then why do they have the commission built in? Because travel agents book approximately 75% of all cruise cabins. Cruise lines can't fill the ships themselves, even with their websites, even with everything they got going on. They can only fill about 25 or 30% of their staterooms. We book the other 75%. We bring the other 75% in. Go ahead.
And if you call, say, Royal Caribbean, just for example, because we were using that, they're only going to give you Royal Caribbean options. They're not going to also show you, hey, there's this option from Princess, there's this option from Norwegian.
Yeah.
We give you options that you may not have considered.
Yeah, because we're independent. We work for you. We don't work for the cruise line. Mm-hmm. So if you call Royal Caribbean, just as an example, their job is to keep you on the phone and make sure that you book a Royal Caribbean ship, even though it may not be the best ship and the best itinerary for what you actually want to do. There could be other ships and other itineraries that, one, might be lower cost. Two, they might be better itineraries. Three, you might get better onboard services and packages.
They might be more what you want.
They're not going to steer you away, from their line. Whereas with us, we are going to book you on whatever is the best cruise for you. And I can't tell you how many times clients have come to us and said, we're kind of leaning towards XYZ cruise line. We end up booking them on something else because they never considered it, or they had preconceived notions of what it might be. And that I think that is the biggest thing about working with an independent travel advisor, and especially one like us, where we try to tell you the absolute truth. We never book anybody just based on the commission. We book everybody based on what is going to be the best vacation for you. So yeah, thanks for the question. That's how we work it. So Nancy, you checked the new booking for Hawaii, and the deposit was transferred over last night. Good. Yay.
We'll have to try and do that for us today.
Yes, we're going to try and do that today. It is something, cruise lines are really starting to get strict about, well, that new promo is only for new bookings. So if you want a new book, if you want that, you got to cancel and you got to do the new thing. But when you cancel, you could lose the room. So we need to do that today. So we actually had to book everybody a second time, and Lufran watching down there, we will go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and take care of that. Alex, you watched KHM's Crystal Award panel discussion with the top rookie and rising star agents. You did a great job. Would be great to see the board. Oh, thank you. So Alex is talking about, and it's on YouTube. I actually should share this with our group, but our travel agency, our host agency, had a conference recently, and we were honored with Top Rising Star and also Virgin Voyages Agent of the Year. And they did a panel, and it's on YouTube, and we all got to hang out. And what was lovely about that was it was the first time that I got to meet so many of my colleagues. So it was absolutely awesome. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, somebody said, how many days is a Hawaii cruise? It's 16 days. 16 days. If you go to where'swaltertravel.com, you go to group travel, you can find the link to go there. If you booked a cruise through American Airlines Travel, can I switch over to you? That's a great question. The answer is no. Well, the answer is probably yes, no. But you shouldn't. First of all, we don't like to take bookings from other travel agents. That's just something we don't like. And that is a travel agency. It's American Airlines Department of American Airlines. Correct. So American Airlines Travel is an actual travel agency. In order for you to transfer it to another travel agency, they have to release it, and then you can transfer it over. You can't just simply call, say if you booked it through Royal Caribbean, You can't just call Royal Caribbean and say, well, I booked it with this one, but now I want to move it to that person. You can't do that. American Airlines Travel or whoever that travel agency would have to release it, and then they can transfer it over. That is a huge hurdle to cross because nobody wants to release it. And if you book it directly with the cruise line, then yes, you can transfer it within a certain time window. All the cruise lines have different windows, but from the moment you book it, you have 15 to 60 days to make the transfer to a travel agent, depending on that cruise line. But if you booked it through another travel agency, then no. The other thing to know too, if you book through a travel agency and you go on the cruise and you get a cruise next certificate or you book another cruise, it's automatically going to be assigned to that travel agent. So if you're happy with the travel agency that you're working with, you don't have to do anything at all. But if you're not happy with that travel agency, you need to know that that's what they're going to do. And you can say at the future cruise desk, if you didn't want it to go to that agent, you can mention that as well right there. So I saw we have some things about the Islander on here. Benny was saying that he's going on the Islander. Gary DeYoung loves the Islander. We're talking about pizza on the Islander. We do love the Islander as a product. It's really, really fun. Mm-hmm. The back end systems still need a lot of work. So we're waiting on that. We had an amazing group on there, 166 plus people were on it, and that was absolutely amazing. We had the most amazing rep ever. Joanne was on the ship with us, so that made it even more fun. But right now I'm waiting for those back end systems to come online where the travel agent can actually manage. Right now we can't manage our bookings on the Islander, so we're kind of holding off on booking them for a while, but the product is fabulous. If you just want a cheap cruise, not a cheap cruise, but you want a low cost cruise and you just want to relax and you don't want to have to pre-plan every last thing before you get on the ship, Islander, fabulous ship, a lot of fun. So thank you to everybody here. Annette says she signed up for a phone call. I didn't register on the link for the Hawaii cruise. You need to do that. No, if you just signed up for a call today, you're good to go. Please make sure when you sign up for a call with us that you actually get a response, a confirmation. Because if you don't, then you're not signed up. I had somebody yesterday who reached out like, hey, I had a call set up for 9:30 and it wasn't actually on my calendar. And they said, oh yeah, I didn't get a response. So Mr. T, another question about how close to your cruise should you book your flight for the best rate? Honestly, it's almost like a cruise, man. Book it early. That would be my suggestion. Now, there are all of these theories about which day you should book and when you should book. And with the airlines cutting down on the amount of flights that are available, they're trying to fill the planes. And as the planes fill up, the seat, supply and demand, right? Fewer seats, going to be a higher cost. So for me, it's like just book the flight when you see it. I don't know. Do you have any strategies, Rebecca?
No, I mean, we've been booking pretty early. But I don't know. It's going to be a tough one with our Hawaii. We'll have to figure out how we want to do Disney, because the Disneyland hotels may not come up online for next year until May or June. Yeah,
so we may just have to book the flights and just have the flights first and then book the hotels. Yeah. It's kind of frustrating with Disney the way they do that, because the hotels should be open 1 year out, but they've never done it that way.
They've always done it, and they'll release the entire 2026 all at once.
Yeah, and then they wait, and it's like, people like to make these plans at least a year out. But Disney is Disney, and they can do whatever they want because we will order it when they bring it up online.
Yes, we will.
So yeah.
And as I said before, the booking strategy for flights may be different for international flights versus domestic flights. For international flights, you definitely want to book it pretty far early. Out.
Yeah.
Because those just seem to keep going up and up and up and up.
And there's so many changes going on too, that you want to make sure you keep up with that. You want to book early because, we're seeing so many flights that are just being changed,
Our flight to Seattle got changed.
Yeah. Everything just keeps getting changed because they're cutting down the amount of planes, or they're switching it, we've got a lot of, we sold out the smaller jets and now we're going to put a bigger jet in there. So so many things are changing. Or, instead of Delta making the flight, now the Delta partner is going to make the flight. So there's like so many changes going on that book early Definitely book early. So,
which is also another good reason to have travel insurance, because
gotta
unless
have
you're
travel
getting the
insurance.
airline protection thing, flights are non-refundable.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, somebody said, I do want to clear up one thing. So, Lou Fran, I'm sorry, Lou Fran, I forgot your real first name. I just keep calling you by your handle. I can't keep everybody's name straight. You said, heck yeah, we'll know about a price drop. You wouldn't be looking every day at the site to see if the price drops. So, full transparency, we're not either. I get up to 130 emails every single day from our travel partners, pushing a sale, pushing a promo, pushing this, pushing that, pushing new itinerary, pushing whatever it is, they're pushing it. But the one email they will never, ever send me is to say, hey, Joanne's price went down. You should adjust that for her. They don't want us to know that one. They don't want us to really pay attention to that. So it is a team sport is how it works with the price drop, because we're managing hundreds of cruises and travel and trips and things like that. You're watching yours. And, once you get signed up for a cruise, Princess, whoever, they're going to start sending you emails, right? Like every week or every other week, you're going to get emails. And more often than not, it is the client that says, hey, I saw this email today. They're having a special. Could you just take a look? And then we do. And it takes me 30 seconds, 60 seconds to actually go in and check your booking. And if we see, oh, geez, it did go down.
And it's before final payment.
We can go ahead and make that adjustment. And then at the same time, like in this case, we knew we had a group of staterooms. So then we went through every single one of them and said, oh, yeah, they've all gone down except one. And then we basically notified it. We sent out an email to folks and said, hey, here's the situation. If you would like to get the new rate, you could lose your cabin. There's like a 30% chance you're going to lose the stateroom in that 10 minutes that it takes us to do the whole process. So it is very much a team sport. And I'm very honest about that with all of our clients to say, look, it is a team sport. And if you see something, you want me to check your rate, it takes me all of 30 to 60 seconds for most of the time just to check the rate against yours, because the sales are always on that lead-in category, the cheapest balcony, the cheapest interior, the cheapest ocean view, the cheapest suite. The sales are always on that. And it does not always translate up to whatever category you happen to be booked in, but it only takes me, a minute to go check and see. So Sandra, thanks for checking the hotel. Should I book it now? I mean, if you're ready to book, the hotels are also going to be fluctuating up and down. So, I mean, my policy is always just book it when you see it. If you're ready to book, just book. And then that just takes that off your mind. You're done. It's booked. I don't have to think about it anymore.
And I will say, there, just in general for booking most anything, there's more times that I've looked at prices and not booked and then gone back to it later on, and it's more than it was before.
Yeah.
And that is 90% of the time the case. There's only like maybe 10% of the time it ends up being less than the first time I checked it.
Right. Alex wants to know if we're planning a group hotel block for Philadelphia. That is for the big Lido Loca group cruise on the Norwegian Jewel. Yeah, we're planning 2 hotel blocks. One hotel, and in fact, it's probably going to be multiple hotels with the amount of people we have. But one set of rooms for Monday. The cruise is actually Thursday to Thursday. So one set of rooms for Monday. For people who want to come in on Monday and spend Tuesday, Wednesday exploring Philadelphia, which we're planning to do. I know Tony and Jenny B are planning to do that as well. And then we'll probably have another block of rooms for people who just want to come in Wednesday, the day before the cruise, and go. But yeah, that's something that I've got to get working on these next couple of weeks. I was waiting until we got closer to about a year out. And we had to, we learned a lot of things setting up the group hotel for the for New York City for that group going out. We learned a lot of things about that. And now we know what we're going to do because Philadelphia, we have currently 249 people on that ship, anticipating about 200 people are going to come in the night before at least for a room. So that means we need 100 rooms approximately. So now we know how we're going to set all that up. But hey, Carol, thanks for joining in. I appreciate you coming in. John is saying the flights for our Mediterranean group cruise should be released later this year. Yeah, well, late this year. Like I said, 9 to 10 months out is usually when they come up. Although international flights, you're right, they do tend to pop up a little earlier. So it's an October cruise, so maybe by October we'll see those flights come up for sure. And again, that's on Celebrity. So I don't have a problem booking with Celebrity. We can always take a look at Celebrity almost any time and see when those flights come up to book that. So that's going to be great with that. And then speaking of which, why don't I just go ahead and put that up and let's talk about Europe for anybody who wants to come with us, because next to Hawaii, this was the second most requested cruise that we have going on right now. And this is this is an interesting cruise. We chose it. We actually had another one that we came really close to booking, but it was a cruise line that I had a lot of issues with Wi-Fi on. And
admittedly, Walter's Wi-Fi needs are greater than most people's.
Yes, yeah, because I had to run the company from the ship, and it was a struggle to run the company from the ship this past year. And the bummer was it was actually stopping at my grandfather's hometown. We were literally going to be stopping in that area, but that didn't. It was just too much of an uncertainty whether I was going to be able to run the company from that ship. So we went with another amazing choice, which is the Celebrity Constellation. And what I love about this ship, it's a small ship. I think it's not even 2,200 passengers on this ship. For those of you who came with us on the Margaritaville Islander, it's actually about the same size as that ship. It's not a very big ship at all, which when you go to Europe, predominantly, it's nicer to be on the smaller ship because you got less people, coming and going. And sometimes they can get into a port that the bigger ones can't get to. But this one's going to be October 23rd through November 2nd, 2026. It is on the Celebrity Constellation. I'll walk you through. We'll start in Ravenna, which is the big ship port, or one of the big ship ports for Venice. Now, when we say Venice, you're still 2.5 hours to 3 hours away from Venice. It's not like Port Canaveral, where you just go an hour to get over to the cruise port, or even Rome. It's not even like an hour away from Civitavecchia. This is a good 2.5, 3 hours away. So it is not Venice. If you fly into Venice the day before and expect to get right over to the cruise port, you got to leave super early to allow for traffic.
Although I will say Ravenna looks beautiful.
Ravenna itself looks beautiful. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But so we're going to Ravenna. We're going to start in Ravenna. Then we're going to go to Split, Croatia. We will go to Dubrovnik, Croatia. We'll go to Kotor, Montenegro. Go to Messina, Italy, which is your gateway to Sicily and Mount Etna. We're going to go to Salerno on the Amalfi Coast. Portofino, which is your Italian Riviera. La Spezia, which is your gateway to Cinque Terre. And then finally ending up in Civitavecchia, which is your gateway to Rome.
Is for Pisa and Florence.
Yeah, and also Cinque Terre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and of course, you can go to Pisa, you can go to Florence, you can go to, now I'm blanking, the one with the volcano.
Pompeii?
Pompeii.
That's not from that stop.
No, I'm saying we have stops that you can go to Pompeii,
Yes.
you can go to Florence,
Yes.
You can go to multiple places, and these will be day stops running out there. And then, of course, we're going to stop at Civitavecchia, which will be your gateway to Rome. And for those of you who are going, that is the group cruise. And the way Celebrity does their group rates is they give us group rates on the full package. They have that thing called the all-included package. And I do quotes on purpose because it's not all-included by any means at all. It is just Wi-Fi and basic Wi-Fi, basic drinks package. They call it all included. It's not. We call it the 2-pack. So they give us a discount on that, anywhere from $200 to $400 off on that. The standard rate is exactly the same as whatever the current public promotions are. But if you book it with the all-included package, and it's select staterooms, it's not every stateroom category, it's select stateroom categories, you get a discount on that. Now, what we're going to do, and I'll go ahead and show the map for those of you watching on YouTube and Facebook. What we're going to do is we're going to stay on the ship because the back-to-back sailing is a 25-day crossing from
15-day crossing.
15-day crossing, excuse me, 25 days total, 15-day crossing from Civitavecchia all the way to San Juan. And then we can just fly home from San Juan. And we're going to have 3 stops in Spain, 1 stop in Morocco, and we're even stopping in St. Martin on the way over.
Bonus.
Bonus stop. So instead of flying all the way home from Rome, we can fly home from San Juan. And because we're doing that, our plan is to fly into Italy. Now, I'm hoping we're going to fly into Rome 5 or 6 days early, spend maybe 2 days in Rome, take the train up to Venice, spend 2 or 3 days in Venice, and then we're actually going to go to Ravenna the night before the cruise. So we're already there, just like it's the same strategy we use here in the U.S. Get to the port city the night before the cruise, so we're already there. Plus, Ravenna looks gorgeous, so we may get there in the morning and just go explore Ravenna during the day. So that is our plan for that. If anybody wants to join us, but I'll put that back up there on the screen. And let me come back over here. And now I will put this up and get rid of that. And there we go. So that is the best of Italy and Croatia. The rates are really good right now. We're way out in advance. These tend to fill up fairly quickly. Again, it's a very small ship, relatively. It's less than 2,200 passengers on these ships. These Millennium class ships are absolutely amazing. So if you want to come join us on this one, and again, the group itself is the 10-day cruise. This is October 23rd through November 2nd. And then there's a 15-day, if you want to stay on the ship, you can actually cross to San Juan and then get off. So just going to kick off 2 things for us.
Well, actually 3.
3?
Millennium class ship. We've met
3. So 1, we're going to do our first European Mediterranean cruise. Finally, we've had to cancel a couple. 2, we get to go on a Millennium class ship. We've been wanting to do that. And then 3, we get a transatlantic. So we're going to do all 3 in one shot. So yeah, it's going to be very exciting. Check. Anthony wants to know, how long have we been a cruise agent? Well, we're not a cruise agent. We're a travel agent. We do book.
Travel advisor, technically.
Yeah. Well, apparently the term can now be used interchangeably in the U.S. Yeah, apparently. So we do book land, luxury, cruise, and expedition. So we actually do book everything. We talk about cruises a lot because we've been cruising for 20 years.
Cruising.
We do. We're probably 90% cruises. But our land side is actually growing. How long have we been a travel agent? 2.5 years approximately. 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
Before that, I was in television, film, and marketing. I ran my own creative agencies for almost 20 years. Actually was part of 13 Emmy Awards and multiple Peabody Awards during that career. I also built out internal creative and marketing agencies for other companies as well. That's how I spent like the last 5 or 7 years of my career. And so I took a lot of that, and I was a VP of marketing, I was chief creative officer, I was creative director. I had so many titles. I don't know. The most fun I had, though, still to this day, the most fun I ever had was working with Alton Brown on the series Good Eats, the original Good Eats, not the rebooted one. But in fact, our dear friends were just here today, Dana and Marion, who brought me in on the show. They were the producer and the director of photography on that show. They just stopped by today. But that's what I did prior to doing this. We've been cruising over 20 years, or about 20 years now. 20 years. Next year, it'll be 20 years. So it's kind of been in the back of my mind, maybe becoming a travel agent. And I met a couple of amazing travel agents, Judy and Jim, on our very first Scarlet Lady cruise. And they explained how it all works. And when I first got into it, I joined a host agency that just didn't really fit me. And then fortunately, a few months later, I found KHM Travel Group, which is out of Cleveland, Ohio. So how it works is, Where's Walter Travel is an independent travel agency. It is my wife and Rebecca. My wife and Rebecca. It's me and my wife, Rebecca. That's what it is. I can't talk.
You are tired.
I am tired. And then we are backed by KHM Travel Group, which is out of Cleveland, Ohio. There's approximately 5,200 agents that all work under the banner of KHM Travel Group. That's considered a host agency. And what's really great about them is they give us the access, like the immediate access to the travel partners, such as Brett and Bentley and Kathy Squared and all the other people that we have access to. We have amazing travel partners because KHM is really well respected in the travel industry. And then on top of that, we have Travel Leaders Network, which is this big consortium of about 100,000 travel agents. And that is where we get a lot of these groups. You know, you want to book a cruise with us, we may find what's called group space on a ship, or we may find these distinctive voyages where you get extra amenities on the cruise ship. So it's all about partnering yourself up with the right people. And we have an amazing group of travel agents that we work with. What's really cool is there's really no competition between us. We all, I mean, literally we share everything with each other, from the newest agent all the way up. Emily, it was our agent of the year this year. She is just one of the most phenomenal people you will ever meet. And everybody's open, you know, hey, can we sit and talk about how you do this, that, or the other? So we all help each other. So that's the cool thing. So even though you're working with Rebecca and I, we have an immediate network of 5,200 people that we can reach out to. Plus we have our tremendous support system up in Cleveland that we can reach out to. And then on top of that, we have this other layer with this massive consortium that we can reach out to. So that is one of the cool things about working with us, at that, yes, you do get to work with us directly, but then we do have this big support of everything behind us going on. So yeah, it is absolutely fabulous. So yeah, that's right. Betty's coming on that. So thank you for the question. And if we can help everybody out, I see, wow, we've been going almost an hour already. So I'll just remind everybody, we're Walter and Rebecca, we're Where's Walter Travel. We're an independent travel agency, and we book land, luxury, cruise, expedition. So our services are 100% free to you. There are links wherever you're watching me right now. There are links. Just go to our website, where'swaltertravel.com, and there's a contact us in there. And you just simply set up an appointment. I give you a call, and that's how it works. And generally how it works is, you know, we do an intake call with you. I like to get some information. Usually it takes 15 minutes. It has taken 90 minutes in the past because we just get onto these conversations that are fabulous. I love learning about you guys. And I love some of these conversations that we get into. And once we do that intake call, then we go off and we do some research. And generally we'll present you 3 or 4 options to start with. You know, here's 3 or 4 options based on what you said. And then we work back and forth until we find the trip that worked for you. And sometimes people have come to us for a cruise. We ended up booking them on a land tour because the cruise wasn't going to give them everything they wanted. See, that is the trade-off with the cruises, right? We only have so much time in port. And sometimes you want to do things, or you want to go places, and the time in port is just not going to allow you to do that. So then we start looking at land tours. And I booked some people on some amazing, in fact, I've got folks right now that are getting ready. They're going to do a river cruise, plus they're going to do a land tour. So they're going to spend like 22 days in and around Europe doing things. So we do stuff like that where we'll combine trips, or we just simply go ahead and add on things. So yeah, so thanks for asking for that. That was a huge, long answer for that. Sorry. What travel insurance do we recommend? So first off, we're travel agents. We are not insurance agents. So you always want to talk directly with the insurance company to make sure that everything is for you. What I can tell you is that we personally use a company called Allianz, Allianz, Allianz Insurance, and they are our insurance partner. So when you book a trip with us, we almost automatically send you a quote from Allianz for 2 reasons. One, because we do use them, and we trust them with our own insurance. But number 2, there have been around 5 claims since we started this business by our clients, and they have all been handled just quickly, efficiently. They're done. And then, you know, you always have to file for a approved reason. Obviously, it's part of those reasons that are in the policy. They do sell cancel for any reason, but those are very expensive. But that is who we use. But as with any insurance policy, you need to go in and look at everything to make sure it's what you want. And then if you have questions, you need to call the insurance company, because we can't answer the questions, you know, specific questions about the policy for you. You have to call them and talk. Now, the big thing about travel insurance, with most third-party insurance, you need to purchase it within 14 days of making your deposit if you want to cover pre-existing conditions. And a pre-existing condition can be a lot of different things.
And just for an example, something people might not think of as a pre-existing condition, but if you're like a lot of people of a certain age, you're good chance you might be on blood pressure medication. If you have any heart issues, that can count. Just being on that medication can count as a pre-existing condition and eliminate you from being covered for any heart problems.
That gives them an out. Pre-existing conditions that are not covered always gives the insurance an out, the company an out, not to honor the claim. So we always recommend getting that insurance within 14 days, just so you're covered, whether you know or not. But if your only concern is your primary concern is I want to get my money back if I have to cancel after final payment, you can get the insurance pretty much any time. Some of the things that we look at is, in addition to the cancellation part of it, what is that medical coverage? Because it is very expensive to get treated on a cruise ship, and it can be very expensive if you have to get treated in another country outside the United States. And your US based health coverage may or may not cover any of that.
I would say the vast majority don't.
Yeah, the vast majority don't. So what we look at is we try to get at least $50,000 per person for medical coverage, and $250,000 to $500,000 in medical or it's called emergency evacuation, which will get you back to the United States or get you back home if you need to be brought back. And you might say, well, that's a lot of money. But I mean, I remember reading about that poor woman who was in Jamaica, and it was going to be a $40,000 medical evacuation flight to bring her back. They didn't have any insurance.
From Jamaica.
From Jamaica. That's really not that far.
Not in the grand scheme of things.
So, yeah. Alex wants to know, do insurance plans cover pre-existing conditions with the annual plan? You have to check. The answer is maybe. You just have to check with the insurance company when you ask.
I think you have to check.
Well, how about hours? Let's just talk about hours. Is hours
Well,
covered?
I'm thinking it's some kind of, I think it's basically a look back period. So if this has been an issue, a new issue for you, a certain amount of time prior to your travel, it may not be covered. But if it's been an issue for years and nothing's changed, then it should be covered. I believe that's how I understand it. But again, that is something you definitely have to talk to them about.
Yeah, insurance plans are not all made the same. Now, if you just want to take a look at insurance plans, there is a great website called insuremytrip.com if you're watching in the US, and .ca if you're watching from Canada. You can certainly get the ideas for coverage there. So that is a maybe it does. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. We can't say for sure if it's going to or not. You should always, anybody who's working with a travel agent, just understand that we can give you ideas, but we can't give you specific advice, and we can't give you specific recommendation, because that's not
travel insurance.
On travel insurance, because that's not our field of expertise. Our field of expertise is getting you the best travel experiences that we can. Brandy, I didn't book travel insurance for my Baltic cruise within 14 days because you were waiting for something. There are still ways to get pre-existing coverage. For example, we have a group policy through Allianz that we can book up to a certain amount. I think we can book that up to final payment.
Depending on the state you live in. Some
depending on the state you live in.
You cannot use that plan that late.
Right. So depending on the state you live in, there are some areas that we can still book a secondary policy. It's called a group policy that does still include the pre-existing conditions. But we would just have to look at that, when we get there. But for the most part,
may also be a look back thing too.
Like it could be. So that's why, whenever somebody books with us, you're almost automatically going to get an insurance quote from us like the next day. We just send it right out to you.
I would say within 3 days.
Oh, okay, within 3 days, because Rebecca's the one who sends them out, so that's why she says within 3 days.
Walter keeps saying next day, but it doesn't always work like that.
Because we have a lot of things going on, and we're very thankful to all of you for keeping us busy. We've got, by the way, if there's any travel agents watching this, I I do talk about TERN a lot, TERN. That's our travel management system that so many of you are using with us. They're hosting a user conference. So if you want to learn how to use that software, they're hosting a user conference in October on the brand new Brilliant Lady. So that is going to be a lot of fun.
Out of New York City, that'll be another checkbox.
Another
sailing out of
checkbox
New
for
York.
us. We've never sailed out of New York City. We've never seen. I've never seen the Statue of Liberty up close, even though I grew up in New York. But that's another cruise. I'm just going to bring that up on the screen. Quebec to Miami. This should be absolutely spectacular if you guys want to cruise down the eastern seaboard in October. I know we're throwing a lot of cruises out there. We know we've got too many group cruises going right now, so we're just going to kind of cut back. But they're all so different. Yeah. That's the thing. We don't have like 6 Caribbean group cruises. Like every single one of these cruises is so different, and that's what I love about them. But it's a 13-day cruise from Quebec to Miami, October 3rd of this year. It's going to be October 3rd through the 16th. And it's basically a Canada-New England cruise. So we got Quebec, St. John's, Halifax, Eastport, Maine, and Boston. It's basically a Canada-New England cruise. Then we're going to come down to Eastern Seaboard, and we're going to stop in Charleston before coming into Miami. And this will be the Brilliant Lady's first entrance into Miami. We're really hoping that Virgin is going to make a big deal out of this, just like Royal Caribbean did with the Icon of the Seas. The Icon of the Seas basically woke up all of Miami. We were there. For those of you who are watching us on TikTok, you know we were there. We were live. We were having a blast with that. So it was something. So we're hoping that Virgin Voyages isn't just going to sneak the ship in at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. like they typically do. The ship just come in early. We're hoping they're going to hold the ship back till about 7 a.m. so everybody really gets to see the ship come in. With any luck, maybe Sir Richard will come on the ship at some point, so we can have him on board for that. That would be awesome to see. But yeah, if you want to come with us, this is the Brilliant Lady, brand spanking new ship. I think this will be her 5th cruise or 6th cruise. She's going to be literally brand new. We will be on her 2nd cruise in September, and then we'll be going back up to there. So yeah, Quebec to Miami, October 3rd through the 16th, 2025. I encourage, if you want to come with us, this should be an absolutely spectacular cruise. 13 days, all new entertainment, by the way. All new shows, all new entertainment. The power's about to die on this.
Oh, it's not plugged in.
Oh, well, that'll do it. That'll do it. My laptop's about to die for those of you on YouTube, and apparently I just never plugged in the power. So fortunately, I have my able-bodied assistant over there who just plugged it in. Okay.
Yeah, power cord doesn't do much good if
it's not plugged in. I don't know.
Put into power.
Benny wants to know, let's say somebody want to cruise, can we still book the insurance? We can still send you an insurance quote. Absolutely, Benny. We don't, we've had people just reach out to us who haven't booked anything with us in the past. And for a while there in the beginning, we used to send out insurance quotes, but now we only send out insurance quotes for clients. So if you're a past client, absolutely, we can send that out to you. Warren wants to know which borough I grew up with in high school. You grew up in the Bronx. I'm from upstate New York, actually. I am not from the city. Spent a lot of time in the city. Spent a lot of time on Arthur Avenue. We used to come down to Arthur Avenue quite a bit to get bread, to get cheeses, to get meats. So about once a month, once every 2 months, family would come down to Arthur Avenue. So, but I'm not from the city.
I tell you, from a non-New Yorker point of view, when I found out that upstate New York was everything outside of New York City, because I heard the term,
yeah.
I was thinking, Rochester, Syracuse.
Yeah.
Nope.
Anything north of the city.
Anything out of the city.
Anything north of the city is upstate, according to New Yorkers. New York, anybody in the cities. That's hilarious. Have I heard anything on Santorini being canceled? Med Cruise is 33 days away. I have heard of some being, I think Santorini is cutting back on the amount of people that can visit or the amount of ships that can visit. There was something going on. It was either a tax or it was something being cut back with Santorini. But I know Santorini was starting to get, just too many ships coming in, too many people coming in.
Is Santorini one of the tender ports?
It is a tender port, yeah. So offhand, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was some talk about Santorini, some of the stop being canceled in Santorini. So yeah.
just have to keep
Keep an eye.
The cruise line will send you a notice when they know what's going to happen.
Katie's going on the Carnival Dream in October, and then you're going to to the new island. So keep in mind, it's not a new island; it's a new resort on Grand Bahama, and I think that was one of the smartest things the Carnival did. They didn't just try to buy an island, another island, and say, "Well, this is all the space we got," because that's the problem with Coco Cay, right? They've only got just so much room, so they got to start a new Coco Cay in Mexico. I think that was absolutely brilliant of Carnival to build that on Grand Bahama Island, where if you look at the land that they bought, I think they bought, 100 acres or something? They bought a lot of land, or 700 acres? I don't know. They bought a lot of land. But there's a lot of land beyond the Celebration Key, so they could keep on expanding. So, yeah, that's going to be phenomenal. I really want to go to Celebration Key. That's going to be amazing. I love that John said there's also a Western New York. Yeah. So for anybody who lives in New York City, anything north of New York City is upstate, but it's not. So, yeah, it's funny. I did go to college in Syracuse, though. Now, that was upstate. That was way up there. Not cruise related, but how did you meet the lovely Rebecca, if you don't mind my asking? We actually met the very first week at my job at CNN.
Well, his first week.
My first week. She was already there for, a year? Something like that, half a year?
Yeah, about maybe 8-9 months.
Yeah. So we met the very first week at CNN. Rebecca doesn't remember it at all. I do. I even remember the clothes she was wearing, what we were doing. I remember everything about that moment. She doesn't remember anything.
Not at all.
So
I was focused on my job.
She was focused on her job. Yeah. Just ignoring me. But we will be celebrating 30 years of marriage next year. Yeah, 29 this year. So, yeah, that's how I met her. Alex wants to know, thank you for the question. Yeah. I've actually told the story a few times in some videos, too. So it's a really funny, I love telling the story in person. It's much more fun in person because I made zero impression on her. Zero. None.
I was focused.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I literally remember the clothes she was wearing. I remember exactly what we were doing. I remember where we were. I don't remember the day, but I remember everything.
It was a weekend.
Yeah, definitely a weekend.
But yeah, and plus I have to say, because the position you entered at that time at CNN, people came and went so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Quite often I didn't even bother unless somebody was around for more than a few months. I never even bothered learning their names
because it was an entry level position, so people just kind of slid through that really, really quick. So yeah,
so I have reasons why I didn't remember.
Yeah, and we lived in Georgia for a long time, like 27 years, and then we kind of bounced around. Now we're in the Orlando area. So yeah. Cabin Life, thanks for our help for getting the lower rates. Yes, and thanks for sending your friends along. Remind them they need to authorize the deposit payment since you're watching. That deposit's due tomorrow or today. I can't remember which, but yeah, remind them to authorize the deposit so that they can come on the cruise with you. Let's see. Snooch, thanks for emailing you back about the transfer service from Orlando to Canaveral. Yeah, and since you bring that up, if anybody is traveling to Port Canaveral and you're going to be flying into Orlando, I love Cocoa Beach Shuttle. Those guys are phenomenal. They're a family-run business. They will pick you up from the airport and take you to any Cocoa Beach hotel, or they'll take you straight to the port. Or if you fly into Orlando and you stay in an Orlando-based hotel, they will pick you up from most any hotel and bring you to Port Canaveral and then bring you back. The rates are great. Again, family-run company, really easy to remember, Cocoa Beach Shuttle. We don't make anything from them. We don't make a commission from them. We don't make anything from them. I just like them. They're really good people. SL says insurance peace of mind is worthwhile, especially for someone with pre-existing conditions. Very true. Yeah. Best to have the conversation about medications and conditions we have so the coverage is what is needed. Absolutely 1,000%. Every time we send a quote, we do encourage people to go ahead and make that call to the insurance company. Make sure it is everything that you want it to be and everything that you expect it to be. Especially if there are any questions, well, can I file a claim for this? I mean, you can file a claim for anything, even if it's not the covered reasons, then it's going to be a case-by-case basis what they're going to do. But I strongly encourage you to have those discussions with the insurance providers just to make sure it's what you're expecting it to be. We have had very good experience with Allianz, and we use Allianz ourselves. So that's why we present that to guests. We also encourage you to go to insuremytrip.com just to compare. Compare what else is out there, what other coverages are out there, what the prices are, and things like that. So yeah. Let me get this off of there. John wants to know, if we book the flight with Celebrity for the Med, can we choose the airline and use miles? You're saving Delta miles for this trip. You can choose the airline, but you can't use miles to my knowledge. You can earn miles, yes, but to my knowledge, you cannot book with the miles if you go through the cruise line. So, but yes, we can choose it. So you're probably going to want to book directly with Delta. If you're going to use Delta miles, just go ahead and book directly with Delta and do that. That would be my advice for that one. Good question. You will earn the miles. Yeah, if you book through the cruise line and we put your numbers in and all of that good stuff, because we can put your frequent traveler or known traveler information. We put that in there. We can put your Delta Sky miles in there and all that good stuff, but you can't use the points. You have to book through it. Now, one of the advantages to booking the flights through the cruise line, at least for like I know with Princess, we can do this. If we do what's called flexible fares, you don't pay for the flight until final payment. So that's kind of nice. So we can get you booked on the flight so that you're booked, you got the rate, you got everything you wanted, but then you don't have to pay for it until final payment with that. Oh, it's a dog back. Is he mad at us again? Oh, we got a great dog. We got an older dog next door. Very sweet dog, but not happy when other people are out and about. Alex wants to know, any word when Virgin will announce a new Razzle Dazzle dining option on Brilliant Lady? No, not yet. Soon. So we know all of the entertainment now on the Brilliant Lady. They did almost sound like there might be something beyond that too. Like there might be another different restaurant coming as well, not just Razzle Dazzle being changed, but there could be something else. And we also don't know if Razzle Dazzle is going to be the same thing as what they did on Scarlet Lady, where if you go to breakfast, it's still basically the same thing. It's only when you go to dinner that the menu is now completely different. So it could be something like that, but we're waiting to see what the Brilliant Lady is going to have. It's got to be soon. One thing I will say, talking about dining, I hope you guys are following Tony from Lido Loca. He's on the Norwegian Aqua right now. He had dinner at Sukhothai, and it looked amazing. It's that new Thai restaurant on the Norwegian Aqua. We're going to be on that ship May 31st. Cannot wait to get on there.
And we have our reservations for Sukhothai.
Ooh, and have you seen the Aqua slide coaster? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It was not at all what I expected. You've got to see the video on Tony's site, and then you got to find Ship Monk. So the word ship and then the word monk, M-O-N-K, all one word. That's my good buddy, Dave Monk. So first Tony showed us what it looks like being shot up the cannon. And then Dave Monk actually had a camera on the thing riding through it. Oh my God. It looks like it's going to be so much fun. So this thing has a roller coaster launch. The thing, it's literally like sitting on a roller coaster where they got the magnetic launch, but it just pushes the two slide. Oh my God, it was not at all. I would not expect. I thought it was going to be like the Mickey, Aqua Mouse, where you just kind of ride up that conveyor belt and then off you go. No, this thing just shoots you right up, shoots you out of a cannon. I love it. If they'd have done the cannon like the Incredible Hulk at Islands of Adventure, it would have been just like that. Raquel's going with the Costa Smeralda in June to Spain, Italy, and France. Do I have a review and advice? We've never been on, nor have we booked a Costa ship yet. In terms of going to Spain, Italy, and France, I mean, there's just so much to do out there. One thing I will throw out there, I'll throw out a couple things. So one, Shore Excursions Group and Venture Ashore. Those are two independent tour operators, shore excursion operators. Both of them have a return to ship guarantee. Both of them have a don't port, don't pay policy. So if you don't show up at the port, you don't even have to contact them. They'll just automatically refund you.
Well, if the ship doesn't show up.
Yeah, if the ship doesn't show up. And they both have a return to ship guarantee. So if you should miss the ship for any reason because of their tours, they will get you to the next port. So you can look in there. And then Betty, who's been watching on here, She highly recommends Get Your Guide. It's an app, it's a website. Now, the thing about Get Your Guide, they do have a lot of great tours on there. Oh man, a lot of great tours. They do not have a return to ship guarantee.
Well, that depends on a vendor by vendor basis.
Yeah. So you need to be, but as a company, as a rule.
As a company, no.
So you need to just be aware of that, because Betty showed that to us, and we have looked at Get Your Guide, and it's like, oh my God, I mean, they have a lot of great tours and tours that we haven't seen.
Use them.
Yeah, we're going to probably use them in Italy while we're over there.
Well, I don't know about there, but we will probably use them at some point.
Yeah, but they've got a lot of great tours. But just know that they don't have, as a company, they do not have a return to ship guarantee. So that's just the only little thing.
And I will say, we have done many, many, many third-party excursions without that return to ship guarantee.
Yeah.
Our philosophy always is get the earliest excursion that you can, so that you have 2 to 3 hours before you have to be back on the ship.
Always get the first one. Like if your ship's arriving at 8 a.m. and the first tour is at 9, get the 9 o'clock tour.
Yeah.
So that you're
make
back.
sure that if it's, if it's a 3-hour tour, make sure you've got, the ship doesn't leave. You don't have to be on board till like 5 or 6.
You never know. The bus can break down. Traffic can happen.
Yeah.
There's so many things that can happen. So you want to make sure that you give yourself the most time to get back.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going on a long tour. Long tours, I would much prefer to be with the ship, especially if it's something that's coming back within 2 hours of the ship leaving. I probably want to book that with the trip just so I know the ship is going to wait or they're going to get us to the next port. So look great. Yeah, he was eating with Emma and some of the others, and somebody else noticed that Emma went on that and the drop slide. I didn't see whether Tony actually did the ride, but Shipmonk, Dave at Shipmonk, absolutely nailed it. That dude will do anything. I mean, you look at him and you're like, he's not going to do this kind of stuff. He'll do anything. I love Dave. He's awesome. He's a great Brit. You're welcome, Raquel. I hope that was helpful. We have looked at Costa in the past, but we've just never really booked them for our clients of late. We would like to sail them, actually. They look like an interesting cruise line to sail. So, but have fun. That's going to be amazing. Spain, Italy, and France. It's going to be a beautiful cruise. Thanks so much for popping in. Hey, Cats and Crafts, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, so many ships, so little time. I know Stephanie's been on P&O. I don't know if she's actually been on Costa yet. No.
We are currently on a pause from booking any new cruises.
Gee, I wonder why.
We have so many.
We have 9 cruises on the books right now.
Yeah.
9. That's nuts even for
Technically
us.
10, because one's a back-to-back, but.
Yeah, technically 10, but that's because we've got the Celebrity Constellation. Which, by the way, Celebrity has a deal right now that if you book a back-to-back, you get $100 off both of the cruises, each of the cruises. It's kind of it's not a lot, but it's something. It's still something. So, John's actually going to try the cliffhanger on the World America. We need video. Yes, we need video. We're going to need Roy to be filming that, John. Otherwise, we're not going to believe you. If there's no video, we don't believe you. It didn't
happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen, John. So just tell Roy right now he's going to have to film it. You're going to have to post it in our Facebook group, or we're not going to believe you. The cliffhanger is the thing that's going to hang over the edge of the ship. Yeah, I was going to do the one on the Icon. What is that thing called? The Crown's Edge or whatever. Yeah. But they canceled it because it was too windy. I might do it on the Star. We're going on the Star. I assume it's going to be on there as well. So we're going on the Star soon with Stephanie. I can't wait. If anybody watching is going on the Star of the Seas, August 31st, I will be on the ship with Stephanie. We're going to be roomies for the first time ever. That should be freaking hilarious. Rebecca opted to sit this one out. So Steph and I are going to be staying together. We're in one of those Surfside interior rooms with the window looking out over Surfside, which Stephanie is like in heaven because hopefully that lemon drop bar is going to be right there with all the sugary drink. God, she loved those drinks so much. Raquel saying Costa is now owned by Carnival. If you're not wrong, they've pretty much always been owned by Carnival.
Well, I don't know about always, but for a very long time.
Yeah, for a long time. Carnival owns about 10 cruise lines, somewhere in there, 8 or 10 cruise line. People are shocked when they find out they own Cunard. Of all things, they own Cunard, and they own Seabourn as well. So yeah, Carnival has quite the portfolio of cruise lines in there. It is
And
amazing.
I know it frustrates people, but they keep all their cruise operations for all
Separate.
their brands separate. So there is no loyalty sharing at all.
Yeah, there is no like Royal Caribbean made news recently where you got Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Silver Sea. They're basically matching you up. Whatever you're at Royal Caribbean, they're going to put you at the same level on Celebrity, the same level at Silver Sea, and vice versa.
Although there are a few caveats to that.
Yeah.
Like the earning the free cruises on Silver Sea, you can only do with actual Silver Sea cruises.
And we still don't know. Some people have said, well, how's that going to translate to the river cruise line? We don't know. We're still waiting to find out. I assume that's one of the reasons why they're doing it. So Cats and Crafts, you want to go on to Carnival Mardi Gras, you might be contacting us. Please do. We've sent quite a few people on the Mardi Gras,
And
the
we've been
celebration,
on it.
and the Jubilee. Yes, and we were on there.
And you have lots of video.
I can tell you, I've got a whole playlist on TikTok. I got a whole playlist over on YouTube. And I can tell you that the best balcony, in my opinion, on the Mardi Gras is the extended balconies, the ones in the middle of the ship over top of it's the Grand Central on the Mardi Gras. Those are phenomenal balconies. They're so long. They're so deep. I love them. Let's see. Kathy said she really liked the Italy cruise, but she's waiting on your friend about the Philadelphia one. That's amazing. Good morning, Vintage Voyager. How are you? I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I said we did enjoy the Cove balcony when we did it on Princess.
Oh, man, Sun Princess. That
so they
Cove
have those
balcony.
on the Mardi Gras, too.
They have those on the Mardi Gras, too. She's right. If you want a completely different experience, if you're a balcony person and you're like, man, I want to try something a little different, look at the Cove balconies down on deck 6 on like the Mardi Gras, the XL series. They're on the Horizon and the Vista. They're on the Sun Princess. That was so flipping cool to be that close to the waterline. Now, the downside to it, if it was rough and there was spray, well, yeah, that spray may have come up and got you, which if you watch my videos, I have over 40 hours of scenes from a cruise ship on my YouTube channel. So if you're not on a cruise and you wish you were on a cruise, just go over there and flip one of those on. They're like anywhere from 1 to 3 hours long. I'm going to put one together. It's going to be like 10 hours long. But I have a video of us leaving Fort Lauderdale on the Sun Princess, and I left my GoPro out there, and within 45 minutes, it was caked in salt from the salt spray coming up. That's the only downside to it, but we were out there. That was the only time that we really had the spray. And then another time I was standing, and all of a sudden I hear, vroom. I'm like, what the heck? And I open it up, and the lifeboat's just coming down. It's just kind of weird. But what a cool experience. I would totally do that again. Mm-hmm. I really like I like being up high on the ship, but that was really cool being down there in the Cove.
It was a very different experience.
Yeah.
It felt like you were going so fast.
Yes. Yeah, because when we would look from our balcony on the Cove down on deck 6, and then we would go up to like the pool deck and look down, it looked like we were barely moving on the pool deck, but down below, it looked like we were just flying along. SL said you're looking for a Shipmonks video. Just go if you're not in our YouTube, if you're not in our Facebook group yet, come join our Facebook group. Where's Walter Travel? We have a public page. Then we also have a private group, and it's a great little group. We keep it positive. We all try to help each other. But I have both videos posted in the group. I got got Tony's video where he shows how it operates, and then I found Dave's video and I shared that in there as well. So both videos are in our Where's Walter Travel group on Facebook. Come join. You just got to answer 2 questions.
They're easy.
They're easy. You just got to tell me where you're going next, and then you have to agree to the rules. If you don't do both, then you don't get in. We're not asking a lot. We're not asking
the rules
for
are simple. They're not onerous.
Yeah, we're not asking for what is it? The velocity of a swallow, whatever that is from the
airspeed velocity.
Yeah, airspeed velocity of a something swallow from Monty Python. We're not asking that, although we should. Alex did a friendly PSA. Get to the port a few days earlier, especially if you're going international. With the Heathrow fire. So whenever you are traveling international, you definitely we actually kind of advise getting to the port city 2 days earlier rather than 1.
Or at least getting to the right country.
Yeah, get to the right country. Just because things can happen with the flight. There's more opportunities for things to happen on international flights, and you have generally less options to make up for issues on an international flight than you do for domestic. So you definitely want to get out there. So Captain Crabs, you're going on the Caribbean Princess in December 2026. That was our very first ship. Our very first ship almost 20 years ago. That's what got us into cruising. That's what got us hooked on cruising. I didn't even want to go. But after that, I mean, we've been hooked ever since. And she just came out of dry dock. So yeah, she'll still be a pretty fresh ship. Coco, how you doing? How can you get a special Royal Caribbean rate for the suites? Now, the suites are very rarely, they're very rarely offered on sale. And they are never included in the big sale, nor are they included in the group rates. No. So there really is the way to get the best rate on a Royal Caribbean suite is to book it as soon as it opens up.
Yeah.
Those are the best ways to get the rates on the suite, because there's a very limited number of them to begin with. And then the moment they open them up, now you got even less inventory. So getting booked right away. Yeah, that is the best way. And one of the nice things is Royal Caribbean has now started distributing the inventory release dates to us, or at least a week. We're going to release these itineraries on this week, which they don't always hold to, but at least we know when it's coming. But it was within a few
days of that week.
Yeah, so like we had somebody who was waiting for short Caribbean cruises to open up in early 27, I think it was, and we actually had it. They were a couple days late, but at least we knew when it was coming. So yeah, so if you want to get special rates for the suites, you've got to book when they open. That is it. They are never included in the sales, nor are they included in any of our group rates. They don't allow them.
They almost never go down in price because of the limited inventory. I mean, maybe a junior suite might go down in price, but you get anything more than that, and there's just so few of them.
Yeah, they only have a few. They don't need to reduce them. They'd rather sell with it unsold than reduce the rate.
Or wait for the bidding process to fill it.
Exactly, or wait for the bidding process. So,
but I can guarantee you 98% of the time when a ship sails, the suites are all full.
Yeah, they are. Your mom and dad and sister and your husband are all going with you on a Caribbean Princess to renew the vows on the Love Boat. Yay, what a great place to renew your vows. That's phenomenal. We did it on the Islander earlier this year. We had 160 of us all renewed our vows with the captain. We shocked the captain. Captain didn't believe me. He thought we were just all there for a couple. I'm like, no, you see everybody in this room, we're all renewing our vows. He's like, okay, let's do it. Hey, Andra, how are you? You're going on the Valiant Lady. Have a great time. That's amazing. Valiant Lady, fabulous. The whole cruise line is fabulous for solos. Sports Jag, you're looking for a family price cruise for the 1st of August in Florida. There are probably 40 different options that you could choose from. I can't name them right now because I don't know anything about you at the moment. So I would suggest that you set up a call with us because, we've got Carnival, MSC, Norwegian, we got Princess, we got Royal Caribbean, we got Margaritaville. We've got a lot of options for you. And it depends on where you want to go and how much you want to spend and how many people are going and how big the room is going to be. I also didn't mention Disney, but Disney will be a higher price cruise line.
Especially, I mean, Disney, you definitely have to book as soon as they come out because those prices go nothing but up. And honestly, if you're talking August of this year, your inventory is going to be limited.
Inventory is really low right now. So what I would suggest is just set up a time on our calendar and let's talk, because when people throw things out like that, I got to know, where do you live? What's the age of everybody? How many people are going? What kind of stateroom do you want? What are you looking for on the ship? What's important to you? Is food important? Are the entertainment included? What do the kids want? Do the kids want a lot of things going on? What port stops do you want to go to, or what do you want in all the various port stops? There's a lot of things that go into us picking the cruise for you. We don't just throw things. The one thing that the cruise lines want us to do, they want us to throw cruises at you based on the promotions that they're offering. And that is part of it. But the other part of it is making sure that you get on the right ship. And if you say family price, well, then the two lowest cruise lines are generally going to be Carnival and MSC. But when you look at what's included on, say, like a Norwegian or a Princess, it might be, well, those things actually have more things included, so it's a better deal for us. And Carnival, Royal Caribbean, depending on the ship you're going on. Now, this late, it is, and we are late. I know it's only May, but we are late for booking in August. So March. The inventory, March, well, it's almost April. But we are kind of late for booking into August. So August
particularly
is going to have,
times when the kids are out of school. Those fill up quick.
Yeah.
and family
And
lines.
when you say Florida, we got Miami, Fort Lauderdale, we got Tampa, we got Port Canaveral, we even have Jacksonville, although Jacksonville has really small ships. So we've got 4 different primary ports to book you out of, and probably about 30 different options in terms of ships. And
then the length
way
of the
more
cruise
than
makes
that
a
with
difference.
itineraries. Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it. I know you're just trying to get a quick answer, but there really isn't one, at least the way we work. We try to make sure that we get the ship and the itinerary that's going to work the best for you and your family, because we want to make, we want to make sure that you guys are going to have a good time.
And it's
That's
not
the
to
best
say
of
there
it.
won't be compromises, because sometimes
No.
price versus things to do versus itinerary versus
Exactly.
the time frame, that can,
Exactly.
sometimes you've got to make compromises.
Sometimes you got to make compromises. So, and that's the other thing we're going to do for you too. We are going to give you usually at least 3 or 4 options to choose from. We're not just going to say, here you go. Here's your one and only option. We're usually going to give you 3 or 4 options. And then Rebecca usually has, maybe 4 to 10 more options in our back pocket, that if these don't work for you, well, we've got some more that we can present and work with you. So I think that is one of the big advantages of working with us, because we are independent. We don't support any one single cruise line. So we're going to find the best offer for you. And when we present things to you, we're going to get feedback. And if we need to keep looking, we keep looking until we find the right cruise for you. And you don't pay us anything for our services. Our services are 100% free to you. So I encourage you to reach out, set an appointment. I know I have some time today. Mondays, I don't, but Tuesday, Wednesday, anytime you want to set up a time, let's have a chat. So, Andrea, have we done Royal Caribbean in Alaska? We have not personally. I have booked a whole bunch. In fact, I have a family going out in June. I think we've got like 8 cabins on Quantum or Ovation, whatever the ship is that's going to be up there this year. We have booked clients on it, but I will say that Princess is still our number one. In fact, Virgin Voyages is far and away our number 1 cruise line that we sell just based on volume, but Princess is number 2. And Princess is still the one that we lean into first.
And they're probably our number 1 in Alaska.
Yeah.
That we book.
Yeah.
We've booked Royal, we've booked Norwegian, we've booked other lines, but they just offer a really good product in Alaska.
Right. Cabin Life, you just asked a really good question. I will have to ask if they can transfer those over. He's saying that he already booked some excursions with his old reservation number. I'll have to see if they can transfer them over to the new reservation. So,
and if not, you'll get the money back from those, and then you can just rebook.
Yeah.
It's far enough out that should not be a problem.
Exactly. So, what cruises do we have for June? We're going to Alaska. That is our group cruise for June. Going to Alaska on the Oceania Riviera, which they have amazing rates right now on that 12-night cruise too. Basically almost the same as our group rates, our original group rates. So if you want to join us last minute, come on up to Alaska in June. That is the one that we have booking right now. So, Princess is good with solo. If you're asking, are they good with solo? They don't necessarily have 0 solo supplements, but their solo prices are generally less than what Royal Caribbean does. Royal Caribbean can do up to a 200% solo supplement. Princess usually doesn't go that far. So what's the price for the Alaska cruise? I don't know off the top of my head. You're welcome to set up an appointment and I'll walk you through your options, but I don't know off the top of my head. I don't have them on the website at all. But if you want to set up a time.
Oceania is not one of the less expensive lines, to be honest.
No, you're probably entry level of somewhere around 8,000 to 9,000 is probably going to be the entry level on that particular cruise. But you can just reach out and I'll set up an appointment with you, folks. I got to go because it is 12 noon on the East Coast, and I've got appointments coming up in the next hour. So thank you so much for joining us today. We're here every Sunday morning at 10:30 in the morning to answer your questions about all things cruising. And if we can help you in any way with your travel, just reach out, set up an appointment. where'swaltertravel.com. Go to contact us. Wherever you're watching us, there are links in the description. So you have an amazing day, everybody. And we will see you next Sunday right here on all the various channels. Wherever you're watching us today, we'll see you next Sunday. So have a good day, everybody.